Hello, and welcome to the All Are Welcome podcast. This is episode 6, halfway through our second month of recording these new podcast episodes. Today, we only have the two of us. I'm Red. My channel is Red the Deer. I am the owner and a content creator for Sleighingit.Online.
And hey guys, it's Victoria. My channel is Victoria Aurora, and I'm the community manager and a content creator for Sleighing.Online.
You're like in a hyper mood today. You just had like 2 cups of coffee or something. What's going on?
I'm feeling good. It's a good week. I'm excited for this weekend. We're gonna be filming for our second channel this weekend in Tulsa, and we're gonna go see Batman.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty hype. We are celebrating I guess it's St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, we're gonna do corned beef and cabbage with mom and dad, and we're gonna be doing a little St. Patty's Day festival that they have in their little downtown.
I'm drinking some Irish car bombs.
Some green beer.
Yeah, green beer. Love
I'm
that
excited.
Green beer.
I'm really excited.
Batman should be exciting too.
I am very excited for Batman.
I think it's gonna be one of the best ones we've ever had. Nothing against the other ones. I absolutely love the Dark Knight series. One of my favorite superhero franchises of all time. It will never be outdone. However, I'm excited for just new Batman stuff.
I agree. I am a huge Batman fan. I'm a huge Joker and Harley fan. We haven't had really great iterations of that live action, but I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for all content.
I think
good or bad.
The minimum amount of trailers that I watch, because if you guys pay attention to
we try not to.
anything, we try to always avoid spoilers. So I think we've seen maybe one trailer, and that was at the movie theater for when we watched Far From Home, Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man, I mean, being from the DC universe versus, Marvel universe, I think that Spider-Man was one of the best Spider-Man movies we've ever had. So yeah. I'm kind of anticipating the same kind of energy.
Just because it was in the trailer? You're like, if you put your trailer in front of this Spider-Man movie, it better be good.
No, I just think that, I think they're really stepping up their game.
Yeah. So, not to get too sidetracked from what we do want to talk about this week, but I'm excited about what's going on this weekend, is we want to talk a little bit about the news that
what's going on. Yeah, so, we have some stuff going on in the gaming universe.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple things that happened. Let's talk about the good news and then potentially the crazy news. The good news is Overwatch 2 just released an opt-in option.
For their beta. You can apply to be a part of the beta.
Yeah, you can now opt in to have the option to optionally play in the beta for Overwatch 2. And if you want to do that,
you have to apply. You can't just get it.
Yeah, they're not going to give it to everyone. It's not an open beta, but they will be taking the obvious,
top
people
guys.
That play the game,
yeah,
all the content creators. Hopefully we'll be in that list of family eventually, but we're currently
we could
not
apply.
big enough.
I mean, we could apply.
I have applied, and
okay.
I have the evidence on my account that I've held for 15 years, and I've played Overwatch since it bought, and I pre-purchased it, so maybe I'll get selected.
We'll see. And
maybe we'll see some Overwatch 2 beta gameplay, at least not on my channel, but overall the entire internet. I'm very excited.
Definitely.
Yeah, so hopefully there's no NDAs and a lot of things can be put on Twitch, and I think that's kind of the point of it, is they're trying to get more hype on it. If we go back to the first episode of this podcast, which we've got news about that as well, if you go back to the first episode of this podcast, I talked about how they will have Overwatch 2 ready and released in July. I made that prediction, and I said that Diablo 4 will be ready and released next January, because they want it to be a year apart.
Yeah, I guess their timeline's just a little bit faster than what you were expecting.
I think we're still well on shot to be for a July release.
No, they've said April.
No, that's for the beta.
Yeah, but how long are they going to do the beta for? 4 months? 6 months?
4 months is a very short time for a beta.
Oh.
When they did the beta for Shadowlands, it was 7 months.
Well, April, June, July, that would only be 2.
Yeah. April, yeah, so that would be 2 months of a beta. I think that's an extremely short beta list.
So you're thinking later this year, or
no?
Or
I'm doubling down on July.
Okay.
I think we'll get a late July release.
Well, WoW's always betas a few months.
Yeah, and if we always look at even the news that they have talking about, right? Because they've got that huge panel where every week they're going to do a different release on the news. They posted that Twitter post. If you guys follow our Twitters. I retweeted the Blizzard tweet where they talked about all of their new things that they're going to announce. They're announcing the mobile game later this year. They're going to announce the new World of Warcraft expansion later April or early April. They're announcing the Hearthstone expansion in later March, and those were all dates that were on just a picture. If we follow those, well, what's after April? June, July? Like, we're going to get to that, hey, Overwatch 2 announced, like, or get ready to purchase it 3 weeks from now in, like, the middle of June, and we'll have a July release for Overwatch 2.
Well, are you excited?
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm so excited. And if they look at anything, the day they announced the opt-out, and this is why the purchase for Activision Blizzard was the biggest brain move by Microsoft, the day they released the opt-out, Blizzard's Battle.net page went down from the amount of traffic they had.
Right.
And I couldn't even opt in until the next day because the server was down. Like, their website went down from the amount of people that were like, I'm ready to play Overwatch 2. It will be the biggest shooter game in the world for at least a couple months.
Well, not only, and I don't know how much research you've done on this, but not only are they still going to have their teams versus teams, but they are going to have a story mission mode.
Which, yeah, that's what I'm excited most about, is they're doing like that huge, everything that we've seen is like character progression story mode, where you get levels and talents, and if you main Tracer, the more that you play Tracer in the campaign modes, the more skills that you get unlocked, and like each hero will level up in their own way.
Well, it says there's replayability and action-packed story missions. So I think it's gonna be a little bit more like how Gears of War does it, where like the story mode's replayable.
Yeah, and exactly like how Gears of War does it, where if you continue to play,
you get
character A, character A gets stronger and more fun.
I think they're going to adapt. I don't know if they're going to directly like steal that gameplay, but that kind of idea of like you're leveling up this character in this game mode.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
And the way that they've shown some of the details is like if Tracer gets super maxed out, you can choose like a talent tree option where like one mission, depending on the modifiers for that mission, because those are ever changing as well. You might have one mission where they're melee heavy and there's tanks and they have explosive artillery, so you want to go for more of a defensive close range build. And then there'll be other times where there's snipers and other, like, that's going to be so insane with the constant changing, the ability to pick talents that are suited best for the situation.
You know what I find really funny about it though?
What?
Is that Battleborn released their game with that kind of content and could not compete with Overwatch's 4v4.
Battleborn's was the opposite, right? Battleborn didn't have a PvE game mode. It had PvP game modes with a PvE setup. So it felt bad if you didn't play. Because if I wanted to main character A in Battleborn, I had to play that character for so long to get it to a point where I felt strong enough to compete.
Right.
Because to get to your higher level talents and to get to all those other
dope,
cool abilities.
It was 100% League of Legends first person.
Yeah, it was. Well, I don't know if it was first person. I don't remember.
I mean, you were still like.
It's like
you're
that
still
top down, right?
It's not like it's not the.
It was a great idea. It's a good concept. It was horribly released.
Yeah, right.
With the competition of Overwatch. And it should have been released like a month earlier, and it probably would have won.
I remember going to PAX East in like 2017 or something, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I went for Amanda, to market for Amanda.
Who's Amanda?
My sister, hippie fool.
No, don't give her a plug.
Okay, sorry. My sister, Amanda, she's also a streamer, and she was streaming Battleborn at the time. And I got to meet the Gearbox guys and meet with them and talk about how Amanda could be an affiliated streamer for their platform. She's maining a specific character and like this whole thing. I had a whole sit down meeting with them, and they pretty much had like thrown in the towel by then.
Yeah, like they were done. Like
they were already at PAX. Like, yeah, we have people standing in line to play the game, but like Overwatch is just already doing competitions and people are already like they had already had too much established stuff, and it didn't make any sense. I was like, it's not the same game. It's a totally different game, but people didn't care.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how any of these shooters try to compete with Overwatch. Like the amount of world recognition that Overwatch has is higher than any other game.
But it doesn't have the drop-down looter shooter, everyone out for themselves. I mean, if they drop a 50 on 50 or they drop a free-for-all mode,
they have a couple of those modes, but they're the way that the gameplay is the more people that you have, the less fun it is. Like, it is way more fun than it is only like 4v4.
It's little.
And I think they're switching it from a 5v5 to a 4v4. Or no, it might be going.
I did not have that confirmed.
I think in current Overwatch, it's a 6v6, and I think they're going to a 5v5.
I think that's what they're doing.
And everyone was like really concerned about it because it basically ties you in to having one tank, one healer, 3
that's
DPS.
good. It should be that way. I think that balances it a lot because there are a lot of overpowered tank-like characters and the healing characters.
I think
if you have 2 healing characters on the same team, like you're fucked.
It makes it a bit difficult to do different comps because currently in the meta there's so many different comps where you run double tank or you run quad DPS or you run double healer, and it mixes up so much where teams will have a lot of really good DPS but then they're very, very squishy, so you want to go for more defensive heroes on the other team to counter, and a lot of things change. But it also makes it to where it is so important to play the character well that you're being supported into. Like, we talk about that position role.
Your purple man won't be able to. You'll have to main someone.
Yeah, you'll have to main someone for sure. I don't even know if they have purple main queues in Overwatch.
I'm just saying, you normally do that because you're like, I could fit any role.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to become something where, like,
I play tank, I play heals, I play DPS.
Yes.
And we talk about how the less amount of people into a group, the more important you feel. We talk about that with the difference in rating in ESO compared to World of Warcraft, where ESO's rating is only 8 people.
Isn't Sworder as well?
Sworder is also less people. It's like a dungeon.
Yeah, it's like a dungeon.
And their dungeons, we'll go to dungeon instead of raid because that'll make more sense. More people do the dungeons. So dungeons in ESO are 4 people. It's 2 DPS, 1 healer, 1 tank.
Okay.
And then in WoW, it's 5. You've got 1 tank, 1 healer, 3 DPS. So already you're going from a 50% of the damage to a 33% of the damage model. And you're going to, the healer doesn't have to do any damage because they're covered by the damage extra. And the tanks don't have to worry about doing damage because they're covered by the extra damage too. So there's more importance on what you're able to do as your role if there's less people in it. I think it's a better system. I think World of Warcraft is still way behind on the times when it comes to less people per game.
I think they just try to encourage as many people to play as possible, so that means allowing everyone to play as much as possible with whomever they want.
I wish raids in WoW were only 8 people.
Well, and that's something that the dynamic of now you're going to be in these scenarios where you're going to be killing NPCs, not other players.
And I think that's only 4 people. If they follow suit with the other
or the Gears of War kind of... Or the holiday events, the holiday events,
they do in current Overwatch, they're only 4 people queues.
Well, and they also announced that there's going to be new maps, new locations. I mean, they really did kind of emphasize on, like, this is an entirely different game.
It really is, but it isn't. They've also talked about how it's going to be crossplay between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2.
They said that, but it's not confirmed.
It really, to me, if you want to look at it like a complete base value for the people who don't know, it is a graphical update to a game that is involving more systems, better maps, and 5 character reworks.
Well, that does bring up the better graphics. They released that the graphics are going to be like 8K.
Yeah, they've been working on
the facial, like the way that they talk and the way that their faces move. I'm moving my face around. Like their eyebrows are gonna be. It's like a whole thing. They're like it's like the top and the pa pa pa. And I was like,
they've spent how many?
I don't need my like looking at the back of someone's head game.
So important though. It really is. It is so important.
I know it is.
When you have a game that has as much character involvement where the character you play is your entire identity, you want it to be the best looking version of that character. You want it to feel good, you want it to sound good, you want it to look good.
Yeah, but you also can change like mid-game of what player you're playing.
Depends. Ranked you can't.
Oh, ranked you cannot. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, that's like the only thing I hate about the game is like as soon as you have someone who counters someone else, you can just change characters once you die.
I mean, it's been a long time since I played Overwatch, but I'm pretty sure you can't change mid-game in ranked.
Right.
But I wish they would do a draft system like Heroes. Especially if they're only going to do 5v5s.
I do think it needs some sort of draft system.
You ban these heroes
for
you ban
competitions.
These heroes. Yeah, like if there's ever a flavor of
not
the month.
For like just regular ranked, but like if you're gonna do an Overwatch competition, how are you just supposed to go based off sniping other teams to determine what players and what characters those people play?
Yeah, scouting would be very important, but it actually makes it scouting's not important. I changed my mind on that. Scouting's only important if you know for sure that person A on the opposite team mains Genji. And they love Genji. They play Genji every day. And you go, well, we have to ban Genji. and then he's fucked.
Right.
So that's why scouting becomes like Heroes of the Storm. Scouting was always such a big deal. Like you'd always hear about Tempo Storm scouts and how they'd be in the practices.
But it's easy to also look back at footage. There's the same thing in football.
Yeah, but that's important if you're able to counter that gameplay. Now you could just scout and watch the game and be all like, hey, he's really good at Genji. He likes to ultimate here. We can counter that.
Well, ETC is the same way with Kata.
Yeah, you like practice it, right? So
you practice the counter.
Yeah,
and you don't just ban the character.
Correct.
You practice how to counter their gameplay.
I do wish there would be a ban system, but when you get to a system where there's so many heroes in the game,
there's gonna be that soon.
Yeah, there's like 27 or something.
And now with maps.
And they're gonna add more every probably couple months. So they probably already have 3 heroes complete, ready to go at launch, but they're only going to be releasing the extra hero Sodra?
I think it might be
Sojura?
I don't know. It wasn't listed on the website.
Yeah, beautifully looking hero. I love her. I can't wait to try her out. But they probably already have 3 or 4 heroes ready to go right now, but they have them on a published release date time because they want the content to continue to flow. It's that stigma that everyone hates where you're not releasing a game that's complete, you're releasing a game that's incomplete that we have to pay for later to get. But Overwatch, you've never had to pay for content.
What? Never had a DLC.
No,
you could pay for cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, always, which is great. I love that. $60 price tag for free content updates.
Right.
Has
It is
always
a
been their
$60
model.
game. It is 100% a second game.
But it's worth it,
right
though.
now, the beta's only on PC.
Correct. They said that there's no console beta codes going out right now, so that makes me a little nervous.
Is there another wave of now console beta? Because are they going to release a game that they haven't practiced on console?
I think it might be the system of the Microsoft purchase getting a little wedge in the way. Because, first of all, it took them a while to get Overwatch on console. It was a PC game for probably a year. I don't know
before
the
it was
whole
even
timeline.
on console.
Before it was on console.
But it's on like Xbox Game Pass.
No, it's not on Game Pass.
It's not a Game Pass game.
It is not a Game Pass game. It
Could
might
it be?
Absolutely.
Be?
I think that would be a great play for them to put
but
it on Game Pass.
then what kind of negotiations do you think they're in right now about PlayStation having Overwatch
That's
too?
where I don't think they want to even release console testing, because then that would confirm it's on that. So there's probably like, hey, you're going to pay us this much money for us to allow you to play, to allow your players to play our game.
So do you think that you definitely think it's going to come out later this year?
Yeah, it's going to come out in July. At least
do you think there will be a pushback?
It's going to be pushed on July for PC. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
And then end of the year for consoles?
I don't know. I
Maybe
don't know
even
what
next year for consoles?
I think they could do Xbox right away. But
Yeah, how do you release it to Xbox and not also PlayStation?
Yeah, I mean that's the mic drop. That's the dick on the table.
But
right?
also, isn't there no crossplay? Are they gonna implement crossplay like they do in Apex?
Crossplay is in the game right now, but it took them months.
I didn't think it was. It was just
crossplay.
right because what's his name always used to say he couldn't play with you because he didn't have it on Xbox.
Yeah, so they only recently released crossplay, maybe October last year, or even a year.
I would have to
look
look it up. I would have to look it up.
It was recently. It wasn't too. It's been way, way, way later than it should have. The thing that they really needed to release was cross progression.
Yes,
That's
your
different than
character. Well,
crossplay.
okay, but tell me in the game, there's any sort of leveling up besides getting gear.
It's less about the leveling up and more about money spent. So if you spend $500 on PC getting all of those cosmetics that you love dearly,
Those cosmetics don't translate.
they do not transfer over to Xbox, and it's so upsetting. It's so heartbreaking.
So it's not even the same account then. It's almost like you have 2 separate accounts.
Yeah, they had it set up to where like you have a Microsoft account that links to Battle.net, and then you've got your Battle.net account. So they now make it cross-play, but I still don't know if cross-progression's coming. It probably never will, but maybe if it will, because of the new Microsoft transaction trade, that's a huge possibility that there could be cross-progression for Xbox and PC. If they do release it on Sony, I highly doubt Sony would ever allow cross-progression with Microsoft. That just ruins the point of the solidarity between those two purchases. But crossplay should be something we should expect.
So is it something you're going to do? You're going to buy it on Xbox and buy it on PC?
No, I'll probably just buy it on Xbox. Hopefully I don't have to buy it at all and it's just on Game Pass.
I don't know if Blizzard's going to do that. Unless they're trying to push the Game Pass.
I don't know if Blizzard even has a choice. They're owned by Microsoft now. Like, I don't think they get to go... Like, Microsoft's going, we're going to make as much money on this game as possible. Activision's no longer worried about making money, right? Like in my eyes, if you're owned by a different company, like you're no
I just don't know how
money.
those negotiations work. I just don't know. I don't know if Activision is even in the question anymore. Like, are they just like focusing on like Candy Crush and bullshit, and not like Blizzard's just being handled by Microsoft now? Like,
that's what it is. Like for me, if I was to purchase a company,
just a sub by a different
I'd
company.
be all like, all you're doing is you're just taking away the stress of what it is to run a company. And you're just allowing that company to produce products.
Yeah, but now that they have just 2 levels of board of directors, they have to go to and be like, we want to do this.
I really think it's more like the Microsoft is the board of directors, and the Activision team that was in charge reports to Microsoft of what's going on, what they're doing, what their sales are, what they plan on doing to increase sales, and then they come back and they go, "This is what we're doing." Microsoft has given us the
it's never like an overseeing. It's never Microsoft going straight to Blizzard and being like, "This is what we're doing. Fuck Activision."
I don't know. I have no idea because there are like so many different companies. Like Blizzard is now a subglomerate of Activision.
Well, because that's the thing is like, is Activision even a company still? They see that doesn't make sense when you get bought out by a bigger company like that.
I would say no.
Do they even is Activision even just a company, or is it just Microsoft now?
I would say Activision,
and it's just like Microsoft like Activision division. You know what I mean? Like it's just like,
I would say Microsoft is the company. Activision is a game developer.
And Blizzard is the
company
game
of
developer?
Microsoft. Yeah, so everything that has to do with the business when it comes to money, where the money goes, how
server
marketing
base.
goes, servers, the deals they're going to offer on like the purchase process, all the pre-expansions, like all that kind of stuff. Everything that has to do with making money or running the business, employees, HR, is Microsoft. Activision is now just a game development studio that is being told or ordered by Microsoft to make games. So they no longer have to worry about the business aspect of things at all. I would hope, at least. Because then Activision could just focus on the games and make good games. And that's kind of what Microsoft's model has always been. Especially with Bethesda.
But it's not been Activision's main objective.
No, their main objective has been make money. So hopefully now that's off the table, they can just make games. And Call of Duty is going to be good again.
Maybe. We shall see.
And maybe.
Speaking of Call of Duty and all things looter shooters, did you hear the news about Dr. Disrespect's lawsuit?
Yeah, so this wasn't really big news.
It's kind of big news.
It was big news.
It's the first lawsuit from gamer to creator to platform.
Yeah, that
went legit.
This was decent news, but we still really don't know any of the details. We've still never even heard who had what problem. We assume it had something to do with a money issue where one of the parties was feeling like they were getting ripped off. It could have been from the aspect that Dr. Disrespect's main income was coming from donations, and Twitch felt like because that he was on their platform that they were entitled to some of that money.
Well, he had gotten in trouble for a lot of things.
And he wasn't the most, like, what are they, reputable.
He wasn't a PC person either.
He wasn't like a good representation of Twitch, so they were already upset with him.
They were ready to like ixnay him in the first place.
He does his, earnings because Dr. Disrespect is open with how much he makes and his donations are very clear. And Twitch goes, we're entitled some of that. Or it was the opposite where Twitch was withholding more of his bits and more of his subscriptions because they thought they were entitled to it. It had something to do with money. Neither party has declared that they're at fault or the other party's at fault. But the reason why this is coming back up, because that happened a year, maybe 2 years ago.
Well, he had gotten in trouble. He'd gotten arrested for filming in a bathroom. He divorced his wife.
A
lot happened all in 1 year.
He got in a lot of trouble with his wife because he cheated on his wife. And the Twitch community went haywire.
So there's like a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And then there's all of a sudden this like legal lawsuit of like,
and he gets,
where is the money going?
Yeah.
Why am I not getting paid?
So he doesn't really explain anything. A lot of it
He's
is
a little
assumptions.
hush-hush about it, but...
And he gets kicked off Twitch. Or he just stops streaming on Twitch and he goes to YouTube.
I think he was asked to not be on Twitch.
Maybe. We don't know. So he starts streaming on YouTube and he's been doing that for the past 2 years very successfully and still incredible performer. One of the best entertainers in the streaming community.
And he wasn't the only creator to just leave Twitch at that time.
Two-time, back-to-back, blockbuster video game champion, 1993, 1994. Like, he's just one of the best entertainers on the market. And he did a Twitter post last week, like on Wednesday, maybe, saying it is done. and all it was like a business card of the Dr. Disrespect like emblem, and it was Twitch saying like our lawsuit signed blah blah blah, signed blah blah blah. Like it literally was just like a little impromptu like fake picture that said we're done. We've settled the lawsuit. No party has claimed that either party is at fault, and it is over. And it was like, what? We want more information. Why is this over? Why?
No, they want it to be hush-hush. Twitch doesn't want all their dirty laundry just out and about.
Of course they don't.
I mean, that was the whole big thing about Ninja leaving and then coming back, and then like the whole issue with Mixer. And I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's a weird world we live in with this gaming platform being a quote-unquote monopoly.
He's definitely a monopoly. Like, YouTube's doing what they can, but the only reason YouTube even has a chance to exist right now is because of Dr. Disrespect.
Or they started YouTube has a way bigger viewing platform worldwide than Twitch does.
100%.
More people watch YouTube on a daily basis than people watch on Twitch.
Well, even more than that is more people watch YouTube in India than anywhere else in the world, almost like to the multiplication factor. Like, I think if you were to chalk up the data of the amount of users of YouTube in the world, it's India by like 3 times the amount. And the American market, as crazy as YouTube videos are in America, where you see a video get blown up to like 26 million views, if you were to translate that into any language that Indian people could understand, apparently that's what Mr. Beast is doing on YouTube right now.
He's been doing a lot of dubbed different languages.
Where he just redoes his videos dubbed with professional voice
actors. Which I don't think is, I think accommodating for those who don't speak English is a great way of broadening your demographic.
Absolutely. But it's a brilliant business plan.
I mean, he does definitely have a good management team.
Yeah, because
I just don't think...
The number one YouTube channel on YouTube right now is Mr. Beast India, which is insane.
I thought that YouTube does that automatically. I didn't think that you had to release an entirely different channel that has a different language, that you upload the language. Like, I thought you could just translate it into your own language.
I mean,
I think the subtitles maybe, but maybe even not. The closed captions.
Who knows how that algorithm even works?
I haven't really. YouTube is something that I'm like dabbling in and trying to get better at, but honestly don't know. Like, I'm ready to just pay Matt Pat to like manage our accounts and be like, just make us famous already, please.
Yeah.
We deserve it, I promise.
Maybe.
Stop.
Who deserves anything in life? But yeah, so going back to Dr. Disrespect stuff, he's trying YouTube. He's making YouTube work for him. He's definitely very successful on YouTube.
If most of your money is made by donations, then you don't need Twitch.
No, you really don't. As long as you can still provide the
content. Streamlabs allows you to donate directly.
Yeah, and he's definitely been the highest production value.
Oh. For sure.
For free to watch on YouTube for any content creator ever.
Well, now and YouTube is doing something where you can become a member of that person's community.
Yeah, there's like subscriptions that you can now pay for, just like Twitch has subscriptions. And YouTube is like literally just a couple steps behind Twitch. But it's literally a matter of cat and mouse at this point, where eventually it's like the console wars where we talked about earlier. Like the streaming wars is also going to be a big conversation piece in the next 5 years. Is when Mixer died and Facebook Gaming decided to take on the reins, and then the horse ran away because everyone hated Facebook Gaming, Twitch became the monopoly. And then YouTube had, hey, we're still in this race, like
we're here, don't forget about us.
Yeah, the dead horse gets back up and starts running.
Well, YouTube is like, why wasn't YouTube already doing that?
They should have been a long time ago.
Right. As soon as Twitch started getting big, YouTube should have been like, fuck, we need to be able to do live video.
But YouTube is so confused in what it even wants to do, because currently they're not making Twitch their number one competitor. They're making TikTok their number one competitor.
TikTok and TV.
Yeah, they're so focused
They have YouTube
on
TV now.
TV and shorts.
Shorts.
That anything you do in algorithm-wise, if you want to get big on YouTube right now, make a short. Make a 15-second video. It'll get more views than you've ever seen any of your videos get, because of the algorithm is just feeding that to people.
Shorts don't get you monetized, though.
Correct. We did find out recently that shorts do not count towards your watch time. So the big money, like, conditionals that YouTube sets forth is 1,000 subscribers on your channel and 40,000 watch hours. Well, you can only get those 40,000 watch hours if you have actual videos that have that. So if you have 36 million views on one short, that would equal out to be way more than 40,000 watch hours.
That's only 30 seconds. It's actual hours
But
watched.
36 million times 30 seconds is probably more than 40,000.
At that, I don't know that math in my head, babe.
But yeah, that's possible. So anyways, those don't count towards your watch time. So you cannot get monetized on YouTube unless you actually make real videos still. And who knows if that's going to change. But the streaming wars is very interesting. I think Dr. Disrespect is trying his best to make YouTube a thing, and I 100% support it. I streamed on YouTube for several months after my break to try to come back, and I was pretty successful. Like, I was getting decent viewer count, and I wasn't making anything like I was making on Twitch, because you don't make any money on YouTube unless you actually make those standards. But it was definitely something I was trying to do, and we decided to go back to Twitch because of the amount of utility Twitch has for content creators, like emotes, like follower badges.
They're now doing those
clips,
types of things
all
on
those
YouTube.
things.
I think the only thing that really upsets me about both is that both just feel so saturated with bots.
Yeah, they're all everything online is just
YouTube.
all
I
fake.
can't tell you how many. I mean, at this point, it's straight up like we are living in like Ready Player One bullshit because. I can't post anything on Instagram without getting like 6 or 7 people being like, promote it on here, promote it on here. Oh my God, did you hear about my channel? Come join my channel. I'm like, can I just get people who like my content? Can I just get people who truthfully like my content? Why are these companies marketing to push their service onto me?
Yeah, I 100% agree. There was even a time that we were considering buying bots because it was advertised to us so many different times and we saw so many different people doing it. Like, it's so obvious when you're on Twitch and you see somebody who has upwards to 35, 45 people watching him, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in reality, if you have 100 people watching you consistently, you can quit your day job, like on Twitch. You can make enough money doing that. So 40 people is like halfway there, but only one person's talking in chat. Like, you know that person's using bots. And the current system that Twitch has, and why this is such a big issue for content creators, is Twitch can't outright ban all bot accounts because every content creator in the entire world of Twitch uses a quote-unquote bot to monetize, or not monetize, to monitor and help with their stream. Every time you see those follower notifications, like if you follow someone's channel and it goes, do-do-do-do-do-do, you just got a new follower. That is a bot. So Twitch knows that every content creator uses those, so they can't just ban bots outright. So they've done everything possible to decrease the bots in the entire platform, but everyone still uses them. The only way to get any exposure, to even put your name close enough to the top of the list, to drive in all the ADHD viewers on Twitch, is to be able to have a high enough viewer count. And it feels like to a lot of small creators, the only way to get that is with bots. And the same issues on YouTube. You can now pay
You can just buy
websites.
You can just buy views.
Yeah, if you go to Google and type in buy YouTube bots, 5 billion pages will pop up of, hey, this is, if you want to buy 500 subscribers, it's $20. If you want to buy 40,000 viewers, it's $40.
And I think that's what really sucks about getting real engagement and getting actual like people to be a part of a community. And that's why our community is really trying really, really hard to develop a organic, real life, that's why we got away from Discord. It's why we went to Guilded, because it's like a double verification. Like, you can't just make a Discord account and like spam, a bunch of bot bullshit. Like,
you got to like apply and we have to let you into the community. It's like it's a gated online community of real people. And that's the dream. We want it to, even if there's 100 people, we say we just create a community of just 100 people, which might sound extremely
low,
humble.
Right.
For our 6th episode of the podcast, like episode 500, who knows what we'll be at. But if we could get 100 real people in this community actively communicating with each other and participating in all of the content creators' streams that we have created, I think that's one of the most wonderful things that would be possible to do in the now in a day age of internet.
Well, I would rather have 13 real people watching me than have 300 fake people watching me.
Which one pays more?
None of them pay.
Well, I meant like which one potentially helps you pay more. So if you
The 13 people who are subscribed, bots are not subscribed.
No, but bots lead to advertisement views, and advertisement views can technically make you money. So that's where
Yeah, but companies do investigate that stuff. They're not just going to be like, oh, you have this many followers on Instagram. They look to see what kind of followers you have. You can literally see.
That's exactly why Twitch also is having problems with it, because Twitch doesn't want to decrease the quote-unquote number of viewers they have per day. If 80% of those viewers are bots and they're selling to these advertising companies, we have 50,000 viewers. That's like a huge low number, but just that is a digestible number, so that's why I'm saying it's so low. 50,000 viewers on a daily basis on Twitch, and we say lowballing 30% of those are bots. If Twitch were to outright find a way to ban all bots but still allow content creators to use their good bots...
Well, that's why YouTube does
they would only
engagement. You can't just go based off of your views. It's not just
YouTube
based off
is
your
better.
views. It's engagement.
Yeah, and they'll go, well, we only have 25,000 people that watch on a daily basis now. Like, the amount of views that they would lose statistically would make Twitch lose so much money from their advertisement companies that they don't even want to expose the fact that they're all bots.
Well, it will eventually blow up in their faces when like the advertisement isn't paying off.
I mean,
companies also do that. Companies go, are our ads generating any clicks, any revenue?
I think it goes down to like the amount of money that they spend on advertisement nowadays is such a ludicrous number for the normal human being to comprehend. But if you advertise to 50 million people, one thing, and it costs you blank check, you have to know that you are only hoping for 2% interaction. Like, you're compensating.
Well, that's the same thing with the
money.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's the same idea as like, this is a Super Bowl ad for millions of dollars.
Yeah, they go, if we can get 2% of the people to click on this or interact with this, we'll make our money back.
I just don't know. I mean, my dad's been in marketing for years, like years, and he does not understand the algorithm that is advertising on these free platforms.
Yeah, it does make sense.
It doesn't make sense why anyone would pay. I understand like paying the content creator because the content creator is the influential one, but no one likes ads.
No
one wants ads.
No.
You usually subscribe so you don't get ads, or you skip the ads on a YouTube video. They even have a skip option.
Yep.
So why would you ever pay YouTube to have your ad? Like, I would love to see the numbers of their average click rate of a ad, and I would love to see the actual data, not just what they're saying is happening, but like what is actually happening.
It would be interesting. I think it's all subliminal messaging. I don't think anyone that is advertising to these free platforms has ever gone with the thought process of someone's going to click on this and buy our product. They always go, if we can get one person, like, we'll truck it down to that micro advertising. If we can get one person to see this bullshit ad 15 times, the next time he thinks of, we'll say it's a scissors ad for like a brand new pair of scissors. If we can get him to go see it 15 times over the course of the next 2 months, if he ever needs a pair of scissors in those 2 months, the only scissors company he's going to be able to think of is ours. Like, it's complete brainwashing. It's complete subliminal.
That is what marketing. I mean, when I was in marketing classes, that's literally what they teach you to do. Right?
Yeah,
He's not
going, okay, I really need a pair of scissors right now. I'm going to click on this and buy this.
I mean, maybe there are people.
Fuck, I need a pair of scissors. And they Google scissors. And they go, oh, no, I can't Google just scissors. I want to get these special Vizix scissors that I've seen 15 times or whatever company blank.
I don't know. I just buy things on Amazon. So, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
You search
but like,
Amazon and then you see the scissors that you've seen in 15 different commercials to baseline Amazon scissors.
I don't know. I go for like the cheapest option, but maybe I don't know. Other people are different. There might be people who watch Instagram ads get you hardcore.
Yeah. Twitch versus YouTube is a very interesting conversation, and it's definitely one that we're going to continue to have as more news develops between the two. Right now, there's no reason to not be streaming on Twitch. And honestly, the amount of like difficulty every content creator gets when it comes to just exposure is insane. Like, every content creator or every wannabe content creator's number one big problem might be production value. Everyone says, you got to update all your stuff. You got to upgrade all your equipment so that way you are performing at the peakest, highest quality that you can perform.
I think there's like 5 major things that dictate you, like that separate you from other people on the platform.
What are that?
Production values,
Yeah,
obviously.
Is your stream
professionalism
even watchable?
Yeah, like professionalism. Is it a good enough internet? Is it a good enough camera? Do you
Does
have
it
good
sound
audio?
Does it look good? Okay, so
Yeah.
production 1, I'd agree
Production
with that.
value, entertainment value.
That is such a minor level of it. Is like you don't have to be entertaining to become a streamer. Like you really don't. You can get
You want people
by.
to stay and give you money. They're not just going to sit there and not give you money.
I could probably list off 100 streamers that I do not think are entertaining, but they're still making very good money because of the content, the
you
cult
might
they
not
followed.
think you might not think that they're entertaining, but someone finds them entertaining.
Or they find the concept of watching them entertaining. Like it might not be like physically entertaining to them, but they find the concept of giving that person money enjoyable.
Okay.
Like
The clout, is that it? Is that the only thing? They're not fun to watch, but like maybe he'll say my name and that's exciting.
100%.
That means it's entertaining.
That's less of the entertainment
If you
value.
care about what that person says, you care about that person's entertainment value. You wouldn't be in there if you didn't care about the person in the first place. So
I
that
think
means
that's
there's something
famous.
that
I think that's a fame level versus entertainment. If
I don't know. I will
if
never
Paris
watch.
If Paris Hilton got on Twitch right now.
She is on Twitch.
No. I'm saying, for example.
She also has a YouTube channel.
Forget it. Listen to me. If someone with a crazy, dumb, famous name just started streaming on Twitch, and all they did was sit there and look at the camera, and their whole stream content is Paris Hilton watching a white paper wall for an hour and a half every Tuesday, and she just sits there and she just looks at a wall for an hour and a half, she would get billions of views. That's not entertaining. That's not an entertaining value stream. That's a famous level stream. You're in there because you hope to have this close connection with this incredibly famous person that you've idolized your whole life. You hope to have that moment where you go, "Hey Paris, how you doing today?" And she goes, "Oh, hey Red, I'm doing really good." That's an endorphin release. That has very little to do with that. That has to do with the concept of streaming, less about the actual entertainment value of the stream. I don't think you have to be entertaining at all to be a good streamer. I think you can get by with just the content you create is enough that it is what people want. It doesn't have to necessarily be entertaining, but it has to be value. There has to be some type of thing you're bringing to the table that other people aren't. That difference in identity. I think the 2 things that matter to whether or not you can be a streamer is production value and exposure. If you can increase your production value to the highest level you can currently afford, you get a great webcam, you get great lights, you get great mics, you get great sound, good internet, then you pay for exposure. Like you pay Paris Hilton to send out a tweet about your stream and then come and play a game with you for 2 hours. I think you'd become the next biggest streamer overnight. It's just about exposure. And that's where it's so hard about
but
the current
anyone
Twitch
can
level.
become viral, but not everyone stays famous.
It's not about staying famous. No one on stream ever stays famous. It is so rare that we have these 5 or 6 different streamers that I could think of right now. Asmongold, Dr. Disrespect Ninja, Shroud, those guys, or even the huge teams, right? Achievement Hunter or Funhouse or any of the teams that stream, like Screwball, all those guys that are like 6 or 7 different people that get together and stream together. It is so rare that they've been able to last as long as they have, because really Twitch isn't a retirement plan. Twitch is I'm making $50 million in the next 2 years and I'm never going to do it again. Like, you don't have to stay famous. You can make it and then be done. It's the ones that continue to work, that continue to produce content and continue to evolve and adapt to their surroundings, like Dr. Disrespect, being able to go through everything he went through, then go to YouTube, and then continue to make the production value that he's
But
able
you're
to
saying
do.
that he's made enough money that he should never have to stream again, and he should be fucking retired. So
No,
why is
I'm
PewDiePie
not
still
saying
making
that.
videos?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he did all of a sudden go, I'm never making content again, the internet would move on in a couple of weeks, find someone else to start watching that is a similar content style like Shroud or, G Smiles or any of those other guys, and then Dr. Disrespect's name would go down and just be all like, all right, well, I guess he retired. Or I guess he's done. Like, no one would actually care if these people went away. And I think that's like the biggest, like, heartbreaking moment of realization for content creators is everyone initially does it because they want to leave a legacy behind. They want to leave something behind that they think this is the best way to do it, right? That's like the initial dream of, I don't want to be forgotten when I die, right? That's the huge fear. So you start becoming a content creator so people have videos to watch of you after you die, and your legacy lives on the internet forever. And if you're famous enough, then a lot of people know about it. You know, it's like that whole, if you die twice in life, like that whole saying, if you die first when you die officially, and then you die again when your name's said for the last time. So the real realization of no one actually cares about any of these content creators. And if every single one of them, if Twitch stopped being a platform because Amazon cut ties entirely and said Twitch does not exist anymore, we're losing money on it, it's a bad platform, and it never existed again, the world would move on. I don't think another streaming platform would immediately blow up. Like, maybe it would just because the market is still highly valuable. But honestly,
depends on how many real people are actually on it.
Yeah, like, would any of these content creators on either of these websites of YouTube or Twitch, if both YouTube and Twitch said we are no longer going to allow live streaming because blank, blank, blank A breaks a current law that the government has now enforced in the United States, then it's like, okay, tough titties. Like, no one else would, like, all the people would just go back to getting their content in the form that they would via, like, podcasts or on YouTube via just channels. It would no longer be a live streaming thing. And how many of those live streamers that do these dumb streams where it's Paris Hilton watching a white wall would make a YouTube video to continue that content? They wouldn't.
Well, there's a lot of content like that on YouTube.
There's
a lot of content like that. There's like some Markiplier videos where he's just like talking to a chicken, and it's like a 4-minute video, and it's got like millions of views.
Markiplier does this thing, but that's also part of the brilliance of it. Like, Markiplier does do really stupid videos, and if you look at how like YouTube pays out, they pay out per 1,000 views per video, right?
Per category.
Per category. So if Markiplier releases a 90-second video of him just saying his name 10 times, and it gets 60 million views, the dude just made like $180 million. Like, it's just so fucking dumb. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the most recent one that is the most impressive was Mr. Beast's recreation of Squid Games, where he did the whole on TikTok video.
That was millions of dollars he spent on that video.
Yeah, they said he spent almost $160 million on that video. And he made $167 million, according to, like, the statistics of 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but he has, like, a team of people now. Like, he's not just making that money. He has, like, a full-on business. He has employees. Mm-hmm. He's paying companies to handle things. It might not even be his money. It could be the company he works for. He could just be the content creator now.
It's just the sponsorships money. But, like, he only made $7 million on that video. But, like, the risk reward for Mr. Beast is we'll throw every dollar we have at every new project because it always will turn a profit.
Yeah, but then Markiplier could do a smash or pass video of him just looking at Pokemon and he makes just as much money?
Depends on the content. Depends on the like, he might not be making just as much. He's not going to make 161 million views or $1 million on one video. I don't think Markiplier's ever gotten close to that. That's such a level of fame that Mr. Beast has implied on the world that will never be met by anybody on YouTube ever again. PewDiePie got close, but Mr. Beast literally rules the internet right now. Markiplier might be making upwards to a good $1,000 or multiple $1,000s per a video, but I don't think he's ever made $1 million per one video. It would have to be.
I have to look on how many views he's got on some of his videos because I feel like some of them have really, really high numbers for the content that's in it.
Because Mr. Beast is not getting in the million views; he's getting in the billion. Mr. Beast is advertising to a like 30% of the world is watching Mr. Beast's videos. So if you were to like calculate $1 per every 1,000 views, which it's more than that, it's really like $3 or $4 for every 1,000 views. 1 million divided by 1,000 is 10 grand. So every million views, right? I did that math right?
His Meow video has 351 million views.
You're right. That's his most watched video. It's just him pretending to be a cat meowing. 351 million. So what's 351 million divided by 1,000? That's $315,000. Stop it. We're copyrighted. 351
That was made 6 years ago.
Yeah. So what's the math on that? Do the math. Instead of looking at the video, pull up a calculator and do 351 million divided by 1,000. Divided by 1,000. $351,000 on his most viewed video, and that's if that's $1 per video. So if that's
$1 per video, $1 per view.
$1 per 1,000 views. That's if that's what that category is. So if it's more than $1 per 1,000, he's getting $3 per 1,000. He's barely getting close to a million.
Like Mr. Beast has 70 million more subscribers than Markiplier does.
Yeah, and every video he releases will get at least that baseline video. Like the video he released.
But he doesn't have his most viewed video is less than Markiplier's video.
On this one channel.
Well, on the regular channel, yeah, sure.
If you go to there's no way that it only has 228 million views on one of his videos. Seems so small to me. I've seen some that have like upwards in the billion amount of views.
I don't think so.
Like he's just so insanely big. Like so insanely big that it's breaking the world. And if Mr. Beast were ever to like, he never has to stream. I don't know why he doesn't stream. He might stream.
I think he used to do this thing where he would go give people donations. When he would do the donation things, he would do that. Or like he'd go on Twitch and donate $1,000 to someone's account.
Yeah, but that's all just video content. That wasn't really streaming.
He used to stream doing that.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't know how often he was actually doing that live.
Yeah. So back to like the entire root of the conversation and where the conversation kind of led us, because I got really roller coastery, but it was really good conversation topics. The conversation was between Twitch and YouTube and how Dr. Disrespect has found it more valuable to go to on YouTube, and basically like the war between the two streaming sites. But in reality, like it doesn't matter where you stream because it's all fake bullshit bots. And if you're not even getting close to the exposure you should be getting because you don't have the money to advertise for exposure, and advertising your stream is completely different than advertising anything else in the world. Like if we wanted to start selling cups,
you have to be the first person to do something.
Generally.
You need to be the first person to ever think of something and just do it.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're constantly trying to play catch up.
Yeah, you got to either be extremely attractive, you got to either be extremely good at video games, or you got to be either extremely talented at production value design like Dr. Disrespect, or like extremely talented at comedy. Those are like the only ways you'll ever be able to be very, very popular on Twitch. Unless, of course, you strike it gold like Ninja. Because Ninja's a horrendous content creator.
I agree.
Horrendous.
He's not entertaining. He's super sexist.
Yeah, he's not good looking.
He's not funny.
No, he's not funny.
He thinks he's funny.
He's not really that good at games. He was decent at Fortnite, but that's because that game's literally littered
Made for 12-year-olds?
Yeah, it's littered with kids on Switch.
Being good at Fortnite is not being good at video games. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Anytime that he played any other game, like when he played Valorant and he couldn't get out of silver
like
for like
Vile,
3 weeks, that was
Vile being good at twos is more impressive to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than Ninja's ability to kill 12-year-olds on the internet.
Yeah, so it depends on your ability to play a game. If you're like at a pro level, you can probably get pretty popular on Twitch, at least enough to quit your day job, but then you're basically a pro gamer. So you got to find a way to strike it rich on the current community market for streaming, whether you know...
If that's what you want, unless you want to have a real community of people.
Yeah. Fucking go to... What's the Cameo? Is that the website where you can like communicate directly to
celebrities?
Celebrities.
You pay them to send you a message to you.
Yeah,
yes.
Generally the main platform is you pay a celebrity to have them video message, but there's other forms of interaction that the celebrities can do. I bet you could find a celebrity that is willing to play a game for 2 hours. Like, if they have an Xbox, you find a celebrity that likes Xbox, you get them to get on a game with you for 2 hours, and you stream playing with that celebrity for 2 hours, and then you get them to tweet about it. For, I don't know, you could probably pay someone $10,000 to do that. You could probably instantly become a famous streamer.
That to me is not famous streamer. That's getting viral for 2 seconds.
That's getting Ninja's been viral enough to create a fucking monopoly.
Yeah, but he was good at Fortnite at the time, and 14-year-olds like to look at a cool kid that's an older guy that she's good at Fortnite. Oh my god, like some kids are into that. Do you want that kind of community of people watching you?
If it means you can be live streaming for 2 years and be streaming yourself to like millions of people.
He hates the people who watch him. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone who watches him.
No, he doesn't. He hates it.
He doesn't like talking to chat. He doesn't care about what's going on in chat.
No, but
he says he loves it so much, and he doesn't. And he's like now trying to market that he knows the algorithm to being a good streamer. I'm like, no, bitch, you streamed for 6 years before you got in a match with Drake, and all of a sudden you got famous because someone famous mentioned you. And then you got a good manager who then did a lot of work, and you paid them a lot of money to get you in on stuff.
But at the same time, he's also made enough money to where his kids will never have to do anything in their
I don't know if
fucking
that's true. I don't know if that's true.
He got a $50,000 donation one random day.
That could be his manager on a fake account, right?
Who cares?
You never know.
Who cares if it's a fake manager on a fake account? That money was transferred into his bank account from one bank account, if you want to look at it that way.
But he gave it right back, right? It could all be fake.
Or it was a real fucking donation by someone who has a lot of fucking money. $50,000 is a life-changing amount of money to every person in the world that's normal.
But that's not enough money for him to think that his kids are going to be set for the rest of their lives.
That's one donation.
I'm just telling you that could all go away in 2 seconds. What's his name? Some of the biggest celebrities in the world have thousands, millions of dollars and go bankrupt.
That's because they buy a $60 million home.
Where do you think he lives now?
He doesn't live outside. He lives in West Virginia, if I recall, or he lives.
I don't want to talk about Ninja. I don't give a fuck about him. So
he lives very modestly. He really does. So does Markiplier. So do all those guys. They don't live in fucking $50 million homes.
Because they don't have retirement plans. This isn't unless you get a financial advisor. It's just like being a celebrity for football.
Yeah,
you get millions of dollars, and it could all go away tomorrow.
It's a little different than that. Football players really do get like a fat $300 million check, and they're all like, good luck. Like, that is such a different form of economics. Like, Ninja has made his money slowly over the course of several years. It is a significant amount of money to where, he might not ever have to work again if he doesn't have to, but it also came in so slowly that he was able to kind of plan it out. Like, he was able to just go, okay, I can afford this house now. I can now buy my car.
I think he just has a good manager.
He has got an incredible manager. And that's really what
that's how you get to be the face of gaming. For some reason, that asshole is face of esports gaming. Which he's like a shitty person.
He's been on so many TV shows.
He's on like TV shows.
Fallon.
Oh my God. Do not speak for all gamers. Yeah, do not speak for all gamers. I'm sorry. Maybe this is a very unpopular opinion, but like, I'm sorry. He is not the face of every streamer in the world. He barely puts the work in. No. His content is not entertaining.
Nope.
He fucking sits in the same chair in the same office doing the same 6 things.
I mean, everyone else does.
No, he doesn't put any effort into what he does. And all he does is get angry when he's not the fucking best, and he's like a sourpuss over it.
Yeah, well, I mean, people think that's entertaining.
Maybe.
But you want to look at, like,
that's not acting, though. That's just being an asshole, and now we're paying this person to be an asshole.
The worst part is Ninja's made his fame and his money on the idea that kids around him have stole their mom's credit cards and donated ludicrous amounts of money that bankrupt other families.
I don't know any adult that's 25 and plus, I'm going to say that's an adult in my mind, who's like, I watch Ninja every day when he's streaming. He's my favorite content creator.
But every 25-year-old that knows about Twitch watches Dr. Disrespect.
I don't think that's true.
When was the last time you talked to somebody that watches Twitch? Like, actually watches Twitch as their main form of entertainment?
I don't know many real people in real life who do that. So the only people I do know in real life, they don't watch people like that.
Yeah, they're not digesting Twitch at the entertainment value. They're digesting Twitch at the consumer level, which is, I really like to watch this game, so I'll watch streamers who play this game. Where people who watch Twitch permanently, like that's their only form of entertainment, rely on these people for that entertainment value. Anyways, we got to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys coming in for this bit of a heated discussion for the topics between YouTube and Twitch. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you want to join our Gilded community, then please do so by following the links in the description below. And the news that I wanted to talk about, I mentioned like 45 minutes ago about the news on the podcast. If you guys are watching this on YouTube and you would rather listen to it via all of the other platforms that you have the availability to listen to it on, such as iTunes, Google Play Store, or Spotify, we are now uploading all the podcasts to those 3 platforms. So those links will be in the description of every video on YouTube. If you want to be able to listen to them there, that's where you rather have your digestible podcast. If you want to listen to the podcast live, then please join the Gilded subscription, or please join the Gilded server and subscribe to it. We only allow our subscribers to listen to us live. So if you want to listen to us live, we do that on Saturdays, and all podcasts will be uploaded on Wednesday to all of their respective platforms. Thank you so much for supporting us, and catch us live in our streams on Twitch if you guys want to. Help us live out the ninja life style that we so desperately want, and continue to be the awesome supporters that you are. Thank you so much. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.